Hello there, and welcome to this week's Media News with me, Gareth O'Connor. I'm going to kick things off with some Aegis news. Big news of last week, Dentsu just agreed to purchase Aegis Media, which of course is the parent company for Carat and Catch and iProspect. The deal has been reported to be around $5 billion US, and it'll mean the company will be one of the biggest media agencies. It could be the biggest media agency in the world, actually. 30,000 employees, 80 countries. It won't really change anything day to day here, but it'll certainly bring to the Aegis brand a wealth of additional knowledge, expertise, experience. So yeah, really good thing for the company. Global ad spend is up 3.1% for Q1 this year. Don't get overexcited though, not really any of that is being driven out of Australasia. Africa, Middle East and Latin America, the big winners. In Africa and Middle East saw about a 22 to 25% increase, which is quite big. Internet saw the biggest growth, up 12.1%. Mags were down 1.5%, but newspapers were up, which is kind of something. Whether I think some of that may well be online newspapers, they may well have converged both them together now. I think they probably have done. Particularly when you think in America they're giving combined circulation for both papers and online now. TV though is still a daddy, commanding almost 62% of total spend. Massive. News sites. Well, don't use news sites if you want to reach an under 25-year-old demographic. Because under 25s have said the number one source for news is social media. 43% cite social media as the number one source for news. And even when you look at 45 plus, that figure now stands at 11%. Last year, I think it was about 3%. So it's definitely on the rise. Good news for alcohol brands. Twitter has just teamed up with Buddy Media to devise an age verifier tool, which will allow them to weed out all the underage people, be it 21 in America, 18, pretty much everywhere else in the world. But great news for alcohol brands. The future of magazines, well, this could well be it. 5 of the biggest publishers in America have got together, and they've got some bloody big titles. But they've got together now for an iPad edition subscription. It's kind of an all-you-can-eat, so $10 to $15 a month. Read as much as you want. Certainly, if this is the way this is going, of course, it'll be good for magazines because they can cut out the actual printed copies, which will save them a fortune on printing. So it's probably why they can have such low-cost subscriptions. Will we see this here? Potentially. You may remember a while ago, or a few times now, I've spoken about New York City wanting to be, and it probably is now actually the most connected city in the world. But they're just about to launch a new initiative where they're getting rid of, well, not getting rid of payphones, but they're turning payphones into Wi-Fi hotspots, which is kind of cool. But pretty much anywhere now in America, in New York, sorry, you can pretty much get Wi-Fi in almost every building for free. The Olympics, almost upon us, and social apparently is going to win. I found this article over the weekend, but some interesting stats here. So viewership, of course, is nearly 200 million up, but hours of coverage is going to be 5,530 hours of coverage. It would take one person 230 days of non-stop viewing to get through all of that, so it's an unbelievable amount of footage. And interestingly, of those people, 1 in 3 of them have now owned 3 connected devices. So it could be a smart TV, iPad, tablet, mobile, PlayStation, PSP. 1 in 3 people though. That's pretty high. And then some other interesting stats since 2008 with Beijing Games. A 450% increase in smartphones. Facebook, 900% increase. Twitter accounts, 29,000, almost 30,000% increase. Tablets, 456. Well, they didn't actually even exist in 2008. But it goes to show now tablets, there's 54 million of them in the world now. But certainly the rise of smartphones and all mobile devices, mobile connected devices, is mightily impressive, but it's only going to get more impressive, that's for sure. Android market. Android now has nearly a 52% share of the US market. Looking at it, it's pretty much Apple and Android. I mean, Apple obviously is the big winner because Android is split across so many different manufacturers. But you can safely say that, you know, Symbian, Palm, Windows 7, actually Windows Mobile could well be gone. RIM and BlackBerry, that could well be gone in 12 months. But certainly, yep, Android and Apple leading the charge. And in NZ, Apple seem to also be winning. This is data that was taken from InMobi, the second biggest mobile advertising platform in New Zealand. Obviously, impressions now are cranking. And of course, it is a higher socio, more discernible consumer who has a smartphone. So if you're not advertising on smartphones, get on there. But Apple, yep, leading the charge. So connected devices, Apple 33%. Of course, that takes in the iPhone, the iPad, and the iPod. But when you think iPhone, 19.6%, nearest competitor to Samsung's 18%. So Apple really leading the charge, but smartphones, about 50 to 60% penetration NZ by the end of this year, I would say. But it's the first time Apple have ever overtaken Android. And it's quite amazing when you think, again, one manufacturer versus many. But tablets, 7 to 8% growth in the last 3 months in NZ. Europeans, this is an interesting stat, a whopping 11% increase in mobile spending over the next 5 years. There's a pretty graph for you, just showing you. This year, they reckon about 2.7 billion. 5 years, they reckon it's going to be about 19 billion of mobile payments. Mobile is also a huge part of the path to purchase now. So this is some research from Moose Sylvania in the US. Consumers are pretty much using their smartphone now for every stage of the purchase cycle. And also they've said peer reviews are still the most influential. So certainly if you still need a broadcast message to push this out and to let people know about your products and services, but certainly if you can get consumers to review your products and use those reviews to help push your brand messages and product messages, you're going to be winning. Men and women, though, it says use technology in very different ways to fulfill their needs. So from a women's point of view, when it comes to purchases, they're looking more for social interaction and savings because they want to know what their friends think about products. Should they buy them? Do they look good in them? Whereas men, it's all more about information. Just give me information and make it as easy as possible. I guess it kind of mirrors the way men shop in real life. If you're going to go to this mall, you know exactly what you want. You go there, you buy it, you leave. Whereas women, it's more of a social experience. But mobile now, it's found that 44% of people, brand awareness is driven by mobile. And that's mainly sort of in video ads. Of course, think about that. On mobile, you can run video. 77% intend to search the web prior to shopping, which is massive. So if you're doing search, make sure you're also doing mobile search. Very easy to sort out. The moment of purchase, 62% of smartphone users use their phone whilst shopping. So in the States, in the holiday season, so over November, December last year, 62% of people, be it searching, price comparisons, finding their nearest store, they were using their smartphone. And then, of course, smartphone people, I guess you could say they're more tech-savvy, they're more connected individuals. 67% of them said they would review or comment on a brand experience afterwards. So this is a target audience in the mobile space that are discerning, that they're connected, they want to share their experiences, and they have a higher disposable income. So really, if you're not using mobile, get on there. CNN has just announced a new partnership with Facebook for the elections. Kind of a cool tie-in. Of course, Facebook, massive platform. They're doing real-time I'm voting. They're tracking sentiment and comments. Kind of a nice platform, but I guess with CNN struggling to find an audience, they're hoping they're going to find one with Facebook. Speaking of Facebook partnerships, Zynga has just launched theirs. So Zynga, the world's biggest social gaming company, will now serve Facebook ads. So if you're buying premium ads within Facebook, you can now serve them up onto Zynga. Massive audience in Zynga, of all ages. Foursquare, this is a very nice use of check-ins. This is Check-in Baltimore. It's a nice tie-in. Basically, what they've done is they've got local businesses to pay to be part of this. And then they've pushed the local check-in across newspapers and radio to help local businesses. But what they've found is the thing has been so successful that it's brought more advertisers to newspaper and radio to push their own messages outside of the check-in. But it's a really nice idea. Help local businesses, promote them all with check-in. You go to these different places, check-in, and you get rewards or money off, discounts. And it's just kind of helping the business environment of Baltimore. So very nice idea. The future of gaming. Yes, Ouya is its name. Kickstarter is an environment where people can go to put on projects, and you can get general members of the public to pledge money and back the project. So in the first 4 days they raised $4.4 million. But it's a $100 gaming console that's open source. I'll just show you a bit of this video. It's quite long.
I love video games, but more and more people are moving away from the television. There's a lot of focus today on the mobile and web platform. It's easier to develop games for those platforms than the television. It costs a lot of money. You have to work with established players in the space, and I've been trying to figure out how do we get them back to it. Ouya is a new game console for the television that's built on Android, open source technology. It's an inexpensive game console for gamers. All the games are free to try. Anybody that wants to develop a game for television, we allow them the ability to do this. I've been a part of the game industry for a really long time. In the early days of gaming, you could take your Apple IIe, write your own programming, and take your game to market.
The console business as it is today is completely closed to the independent developer.
The process overhead for console development is really just too much for us.
There's a lot of hurdles for developers to get games onto the television. Developing is extremely expensive. I love the television, and I want those games on the television.
It's kind of cool, but it's a very cheap. Certainly $100. I mean, I've wasted $100 on many things, but it's certainly, completely open source. Any developers can make games, and it's all done through a television and a box. The Herald, yes, the ended Herald is getting smaller. It's going tabloid size. And APN have also said that paywalls are now pretty much inevitable in NZ. Of course, to be very successful, if you've got good content, you're a good paper. So the Times, New York Times, they've done very well with this, but it's going to happen here. Newspapers lost $42 million in ad revenue in 2011, so they've got to make that up somewhere. It's going to come back to the consumer, so people will start getting charged for content. Just have to make sure it's good, or people will go elsewhere. Good cinema partnerships. So Lexus and Hoyts have just teamed up in Australia. Le Premier Director's Suites are kind of for the upmarket discerning consumer who wants class, refinement, and quality when they go to the cinema. So big comfy chairs, chance to get close and cuddle up your partner, very comfortable, leather, all very good, perfect experience, only a few people in there. So really it's a way of them, Lexus being able to deliver luxurious, creative or luxurious environment. Good tie-in, gets people thinking, reaches a high socio group, discerning customers, nice piece of work. Here's a bit of fun from an insurer. Could happen, you know, state of chaos. So State Farm, if you go to this website, you'll be able to try this out. Basically what you do is you go in there, you put in your last name and your address, and it makes a video for you using Google Maps and Street View, and you'll see like a robot coming through and destroy. I don't want to spoil the video for you, but basically disasters happen. But it's a nice idea for taking a kind of low interest category and making it kind of interesting and having a bit of fun. So go check that out. Something for the big kids. I always wondered growing up if it was possible to do this in my dad's Cortina. But hey, they made it for real. Woohoo! Great way to bring a product for kids into the real world, something for adults, but yeah, very cool. Ah. Nice. This is a nice idea for Leaf. It's done in London.
It's so much cheaper. I think the world needs more stuff like this.
Very cool, but a good way to show the efficiency and cost of driving an electric car. This is a nice extension of a TVC from Cadbury. This is done in Australia. And they put this actually in the service in the morning rush hour within trains. Just put it in between actual trains running. So a lovely way of building on their Joyville campaign. Bringing joy to commuters, very nice. And this is the last thing from me this week. A very nice piece of work.
As the Arctic melts, the rush to exploit its resources is starting. Nobody will listen to her, but they'll listen to you. Join the movement. Save the Arctic.
Cool, and I'll see you next week.